Hello everyone, it's time for Phys.Ed.School. Take your piece of equipment out on the floor and get ready to go to school. Before we begin, let's go over the rules of Phys.Ed.School. Number 1, work hard to get better. Number 2, be kind to others. And number 3, listen and do. And when you see this sign and hear this sound, it means it's time to stop and look for the next trick to do. Here we go. In Phys.Ed.School, a kindergarten student puts the beanbag on their paddle and walks around without having it fall off. In Phys.Ed.School, a first grade student puts the beanbag on their paddle and walks backwards without having it fall off. They also watch where they're going. In Phys.Ed.School, a second grade student runs with the beanbag on their paddle. Watch where you're going. In Phys.Ed.School, a third grade student skips with the beanbag on their paddle. In Phys.Ed.School, a fourth grade student slides to the side with the beanbag on their paddle. In Phys.Ed.School, a fifth grade student jumps with 2 feet while keeping the beanbag on their paddle. In Phys.Ed.School, a middle school student flips the beanbag on their paddle just like it was a pancake. In Phys.Ed.School, a high school student throws the beanbag with one hand and then catches it on the paddle with the other. In Phys.Ed.School, a college student flips the beanbag off their paddle and catches it on their back. Now it's your turn to make up a trick. Use the equipment safely and make up a trick that you can show the rest of the class. Nice job, everyone. You graduated from Phys.Ed.School. Now, freeze!